I had a video that I had made, like 2 days ago. No, well, a day ago. But it was too long, and since my real camera doesn't work anymore, I have to use my iPod video camera. And the format is all fucked up, and I can't edit it. So, this is what you get. But my first video is made on Thanksgiving at 3 in the morning. And you may be wondering why I would do that. But, something happened over the weekend, and it was big and awful. So I had just been doing this interview with my girlfriend about drag kings and, life outside of drag, for us. We went back to her apartment after that, and it was just really nice, and we were lying in bed next to each other. It was like 5 in the evening. It was very calm. I was falling asleep. It was really nice, and I got a text message from my mom that says, it's been a long time since we talked. And I was a little bit concerned by this at first, but I just went along. He's like, oh yeah, I know, sad face, trying to lighten that up a bit. But when I got the next message from her, I knew what she was talking about when she said, I don't even know you anymore. I tried to play it off like I didn't know what she meant and sent her a message back, and the one she ultimately sent was, I saw your Facebook page, which I changed my name on Facebook a while ago, so she saw that somehow. I don't know how, because she doesn't have a Facebook account, but she saw that, and it wasn't good. My brain wasn't even there. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was gathering my things together, getting ready to go, and I didn't even have anywhere to go. I ended up calling my mom, though, because there's nothing else I could have done in that situation. I just had to talk to her, but it was bad. She basically yelled a lot at me, was crying a lot. Like, she said lots of things like, I'm just pretending, or that this can't be me, my idiot friends must have talked me into this, that I have no life experience and I have no idea what I'm doing, and I shouldn't do this, and because of that. And mostly she was saying stuff about losing her daughter, that like, I'm already dead, I've destroyed her life, one thing on top of another. This is like, she must be a terrible person because all the shit keeps happening to her. And she basically just kept going with that, and she's talking about how she'll never get to go shopping for a wedding dress with me, and like all of these things, these girly things that we used to do together that we can't do anymore. And I asked her to name some of them, and she couldn't even do that. And I was on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours that night with her, and I had an exam to study for. I had lots of work to get done for the next day, and just could not do any of it. I was so unfocused after that, because basically it's my mom telling me that she hates me, and that she thinks that I've killed her daughter, and that I'm an idiot, and all my friends are morons too. She also said that she hated my girlfriend in that conversation. She just kept throwing things at me. So I didn't really sleep that night, and that was Saturday night into Sunday. And Sunday, of course, I went out to Ohio for a camp, a drumline thing, with some friends. The second camp of 2, and it was an all-day thing. And it's like a 2-hour drive there and a 2-hour drive back. So I ended up getting back, it was like 10 o'clock at night when things all started winding down, and my girlfriend urged me to call my mom because it's Thanksgiving week, you have to know what's going to happen, you need to know what you're going to do. And I agreed, because I didn't want them to come down here and nothing to have been said in between, and have like a big explosion in Pittsburgh on Thanksgiving where I had nowhere to go. And so I called home and started off a 4 or 5 hour conversation, if I could even call it a conversation. My dad got involved in the end, but mostly it was my mom crying again and saying all this dumb stuff. Like, basically it's the same thing, and calling my friends fags and morons, and that I don't talk to anyone with common sense, and none of us have any life experience, so we're all dumb. And my mom is extremely conservative and makes fun of us all, even though I'm still technically a Republican. But she hates us all and thinks we're all dumb, and she just doesn't believe in my ability to make my own decisions. She thinks that just because I didn't tell her before that, this is the first time that anybody's ever heard about it, she doesn't think that I've been thinking about it for a very long time, and doesn't trust me enough to make the decision myself, it seems. And I think she's just so worried about what other people are going to say, and I know she is, and she told me that. I think the most depressing thing that she told me through this whole time is when I asked her, do you want me to send you some stuff on the internet to look at some things or talk to somebody about it who knows more and can help you out? And she said absolutely not, and she's not even willing to try to understand and doesn't want to, because it's forcing my beliefs on her and trampling all over hers. And then my dad got involved, and let me point out first that my mom threatened to kill herself and then hung up the phone and then refused to answer 3 times in a row, so I started flipping out, and crying and screaming, and I couldn't even sit up right, and I could barely breathe. And I called back again, and 3 times, and nothing. It was terrifying. It was one of the scariest things that ever happened, if not the scariest. But my dad ended up calling, because he somehow found out through all of this. And he basically screamed as loud as he could for 20 minutes. Even in asking questions, he didn't really wait for a response. I said 2 or 3 words the entire time. He just screamed and screamed and screamed, and called me an idiot and an asshole and I'm a fucking moron, and that I should never have gone away to college because of the, people are doing this to me, and that you're all liberal dumbasses, and that I should have stayed home in my town of 3,000 hick people, and talk to people with common sense again. And he ended up saying something absolutely ridiculous, and we just laughed. There's no pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, or something dumb. But at the end of that conversation, I just hung up, and I just said at some point during the night, it was really late, I can't do this anymore. I just can't talk to you anymore about this, and that's the last time that I talked to them. They didn't end up coming here for Thanksgiving. I've pretty much spent the entire break by myself, with the exception of I went to Thanksgiving dinner at a friend's house where we had a bunch of basically reject kids whose families don't want to talk to them have dinner together. And it was nice and fun, but at the end of the day, my family's not here, and I didn't get to go visit my brother with them. The only time I get to see my brother is when they come down and take me there, because my brother is in prison and I can't drive there myself. So I haven't seen my brother in months, and it terrifies me to even know what his reaction is, because there's no way I can find out unless it's letter writing, and it's going to take time, and the whole thing I'm worried about is the time, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I should be the one to call them. I don't think I should. I think I should wait for them to call me, but it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I just worry so much about it. I'm going to stop this now and make another one, because it's running out of time. Thanks.